But yeah, man, hopefully it's Lamara with the Auras to lose. We'll see. I'm sure it's gonna be a great game. I'm looking forward to another like game like the ones that we've been having. We've been having some. We've been being blessed with a lot of great playoff games this year, college and
Mm-hmm.
professional. Like it's
Yep.
been. If you're a football fan, like and me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm not as dialed in, during the regular season as I probably have been in the past, or as much as I probably will be going forward. Continuing to do this with you guys. But just the ones that I've been able to sit down and really like watch, man. You talk about like introduction of stars, like Jeremiah Smith. I mean, granted, again, he's one of ours, but
Right.
exposing him to the world, like putting him on the stage and allowing the world to see like that kid's a top 5 pick if he wants to be. You know what I mean? Hopefully he comes
Right.
back because still got a lot of room for improvement. But yeah, man, it's just been a great playoff season, man, on all levels. And I just thank the football gods, man, that we get to enjoy this stuff. Sticking with the NFL awards, um, I mean, I kind of had a note to see if we wanted to go through all of our award finalists, at least those guys. But I mean, I can just run through mine, and y'all can tell me what y'all think, or if y'all have different opinions on any of them, and we can just unpack it from there. But obviously, MVP Lamar Jackson, Offensive Player of the Year. I'm stuck in between Saquon and Jamar Chase, honestly. But I feel like if I had to pick one or the other, probably going Saquon. 2,000 yards. Just the highlight plays. It's not easy to put it over a Triple Crown winner in Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? I don't know if the last one was Cooper Cup, maybe. Um, so that wasn't easy. But again, Saquon Barkley is just box office. He's a walking highlight reel, hurling people backwards. The gear shift, the big power runs, the big power zone runs down, the cuts, the jump cuts. But it's just been like that all year. And I know the Giants are having nightmares. If the Giants GM is still probably having nightmares about that one. So defensive player of the year, um, who did I have? Honestly, Hendrickson for Cincinnati is a good candidate, but Benito, my boy Benito, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. Um, my bad. Oh, for the Broncos, yes, bro. Nick Benito for the Broncos. Okay, yeah, no, guy's been balling. Guy's definitely been balling. Offensive Rookie of the Year. This one was another hard one for me. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is balling right now. I got to see if they just won. It was out of Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, but the guy who I was leaning towards personally, and it's only because in year one he looks like the best in his position, if not one of the best in his position, and that's Brock Bowers for the Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Kid's a stud, like from game one to the end of the season, just consistency. Like I don't know a tight end that had a better season than him this year. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix and Drake May and all these other guys that had pretty good rookie campaigns as quarterbacks. But I look at Brock Bowers and I see somebody who can go to any team and contribute at a high level, like right now. Quarterbacks, so many things often have to go right for them to be successful. But Brock Bowers, I think, is kind of like head and shoulders above a lot of players at his position. Defensive Rookie of the Year, got Jared Verse. Um, already looking like one of the premier secondary defenders in the league. Um, and Comeback Player of the Year, this was another tough one. It was out of Joe Burrow, Sam Darnold. But I feel like I would have to go Sam Darnold just because of the level of success that he's been able to afford his team. And Joe Burrow having a historic year, leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns, I believe. But not being able to muster a playoff berth, I think kind of works against your case in any award race. But yeah, so those are mine. So let me know what y'all think.
Uh, our list, my list is very similar to yours. I'll start with comeback player of the year. I definitely had Sam Darnold because he was written off. He was shipped off. People were looking to keep him as a solid backup just in case anything happened. And he goes to Minnesota, where they just lost Kirk Cousins. They add a few pieces. They get strong on defense, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do coming there. Be a game manager, but not only that, he played above the bar that was set for him. He's got this team. He had the team winning in the regular season. I know the last game they just played the Lions. They kind of got, kind of punished a little bit, but they're still in the playoffs, and I still think they're a threat. They play the Rams tomorrow. I think that's going to be a good game. So for those of you, you know what I'm saying, into it, I mean, if you don't watch the game tomorrow, go back and look at it on the replay or something, because I think that's going to be a good game in my opinion. So Sam Darnold definitely comeback player of the year, offensive player of the year. I was going to lean toward, like, I still had Saquon and Jamar Chase as well, but I was trying to find something in both these guys' situation that I would lean more towards, but both of them came out of, tough situations. Jamar Chase coming out of that situation to where it's like, is he really going to ball? Does he really want to be in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
And Saquon getting shipped off from the Giants, knowing his situation is like, you really wanted to pay Daniel Jones over me, and then you send me right up the road to where you got to play me twice a year. You know what I'm saying? They both had, things weighing in on their situation. But honestly, watching Saquon this year has been a ball. It's something it's one of those seasons you don't get to see again if you don't see it. Everybody that didn't get a chance to see him this season, you're gonna be watching highlights. And
Yeah.
I got a
Of
chance to
this year.
actually
Yeah.
watch it. I got a chance to actually watch it. So I'm gonna give that offensive player of the year to Saquon Barkley. Defensive player of the year, that was a tough one for me. But again, I would lean towards Hendrickson. He's been doing an outstanding job over there. He came in, he does his thing quietly, but he wreaks havoc when he gets back there. He
17
does
and a half sacks, bro.
right, and it's crazy because when you watch him, he's not doing nothing crazy. He's just bowling through guys, and when he get a chance to go around you, going around you. When he get a chance to push you into the quarterback, he's doing what he's supposed to do. So I'm gonna go with Hendrickson right there from the Bengals. Uh, Offensive rookie of the year, again, hands down, Brock Bowers. That's no debate. That's no debate at all. Like I he wasn't on my fantasy team, but I went both leagues that I was in. I was going to look at his stat line every week.
Yes.
It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. He did this every game in, game out. No matter the quarterback, no matter the score, no matter what. Brock Bowers is one of those guys, and I think he should get offensive rookie of the year. Uh, when it comes to defensive rookies of the year, I really wasn't zoned in on the defensive rookie. I mean defensive rookie players this year, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm drawing a blank on this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to K-Pop. What you got?
Um, I pretty much got the same thing. Lamar, Saquon. Only reason I picked Saquon is because, you know, like I said, being traded from the Giants, coming to the Eagles. Jamar Chase, yeah, he got the triple crown, but he been in that system. Saquon is coming to a whole new situation. He got wrote off. He got to learn this new system and try to gel with this team. And everybody know what the Eagles do. They don't run the ball. And
That's
despite all of that, you still rush for 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? He could have broke their record if they would have played him the last game. You know what I mean? But I like the fact that they didn't, because their mind is set on winning the Super Bowl. So it's Saquon. Um, I think you said offensive rookie or offensive rookie of the year. Um, I got the tight end from the Raiders. Uh,
So just chime in. Brock Bowers in the entire NFL this year, third overall in catches, eighth overall in yards.
see what I'm saying? But
So
defensive player of the year. I'm cool with the DN from Cincinnati. Um, Offensive rookie of the year, Bowers. Defensive rookie of the year. Now, it's either Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock.
okay,
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Kalen Bullock got like 5 interceptions in the NFL. And that's like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's towards the top of the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's either
so
going
he got five. He's tied with Derek Stingley Jr. for sixth, or well, him and a few other players for sixth. But he has five. He has five on the season.
so Caleb Bullock been balling. So I gotta, he been a ball hawk in that secondary. So it's out of them two, Kamari Lassiter and Caleb Bullock. But everything else y'all pointed out, I agree with on y'all list.
But I'm gonna chime in one more time right here. Since you brought it up, I'm gonna say Lassiter because that guy he had to go against some receivers this year, and he held his own. He held his own. I think he's at the top for his percentage. You know what I'm saying? There's not too much. It wasn't too much going on this side. It wasn't too much going on this side. When they did try him multiple times in the game, he ended up with a pick. So I'm gonna go with Lassiter from the Texans. DB. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, Texans secondary is slowly becoming one of those like leading the boom level or the entire defense really. Will Anderson and those guys like and the DN they got from Minnesota, drawing a blank. Daniil Hunter, yeah, like so those guys, man. That unit. I mean, we saw what they did yesterday. That's looking like a unit that none of these quarterbacks want to go up against. Kind of reminiscent of those Legion of Boom days, that Denver defense with Peyton Manning there, those days. So I mean, it's looking scary in Houston right now. They still alive. They are still alive, and I don't envy any quarterback they got to line up against from those guys. But yeah, just keeping it going. I guess just last NFL topic. Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously one loss on the season. Got their first game next week. Are we feeling confident about their chances to really get a W? Or we feel like they're flying too low under the radar? Brody.
When we talk about the Chiefs, you go back and you look at Pat Mahomes' stats. Not the best stat line that you would see from Pat Mahomes this year.
No.
But at the same time, they're still getting it done. And regardless of what people want to say about Pat Mahomes and his offense and how great he is that. He's definitely a walk-in Hall of Famer first ballot. But at the same time, you can't overlook what this defense, Spags defense has done in these last few years throughout the playoffs. And I think the way that defense is set up, and if Patrick Mahomes can just be 75% of himself, we're gonna be looking at a Chiefs three-peat. I think people are kind of putting them below the radar. They're not a team to be played with defensively. And then, like I said, if Pat really get it going against familiar teams, Texans, Ravens, Bills, if he gets it going, it's three-peat. It's three-peat. And I'm not even including the other side because I don't think there's a team if the entire Chiefs teams get hot. It's not a team over there, and I'm talking about offense and defense for the Chiefs. It's not a team on the opposite side of the spectrum to stop them from doing what they got to do.
Okay, Paul.
Man, I think the Texans can beat them. I think Patrick Mahomes. Huh? I'm be real with you. I think the Texans can beat them. You look at that first game when the Texans played them. The Texans, that Tank Dell injury messed them up, and then the referees was kind of doing some questionable calls.
There was some inconsistency in the calls for sure in the game.
So I feel like if the Texans are able to run the football, keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline,
Mixon,
I think that they can win this game. Joe Mixon, they need a heavy dose of Joe Mixon. I don't believe, and I think the Chiefs are inconsistent. Like Roger pointed out, now if they get hot, then hey, but the Chiefs have not been consistent. More than 15 of their games that they won this year, they've won by less than 10 points. It could have easily went the other way. I think it's less than that, maybe less than 7 points. So while everybody was bashing the Texans about how they're barely winning games, the Chiefs, dang near all of their games that they won, I think were less than 7 points. So they definitely can be beat. It comes down to execution and keeping Pat Mahomes on the sideline. This Texans defensive line, everybody's healthy. So I'm looking forward to see how Patrick Mahomes is going to maneuver around this defensive line, because you saw what they did to that boy Herbert yesterday. So it's only a matter of time, before they get to Mahomes. So I just want to see, how Mahomes going to deal with that pass rush, but they definitely can be beat, in my opinion. I think they're a beatable team. You know what I mean? The Texans just got to come in there and execute. But if they get hot, like Broderick said, three-peat.
Yeah, man. Honestly, they have shown that they can be beaten. They definitely have won all the games this year that I feel like they should have lost. Um, but with them, to me personally, I feel like the real edge is in coaching. Uh, just because of like the offensive players that they've lost this year and the adjustments that they've had to make on the fly, losing Rice, trying to give Xavier Worthy like an expanded role in the offense, aging Travis Kelce, dealing with Pacheco injuries, reintegrating him into the lineup, having to go out and get Kareem Hunt, bring him back into the fold, get him back productive, being a productive player for the offense. That to me, that just screams this is going to be an Andy Reid Super Bowl. This is going to be, and like if the Chiefs make it back to the Super Bowl, you can almost guarantee it's because Andy Reid coached his ass off. Because I mean, just looking at the teams the way they're currently constructed, I don't see Pat Mahomes going out with these guys and just dominating a Detroit defense or dominating a Texans defense or the Ravens for that matter. You know what I mean? But I feel like Andy Reid, excuse me, Andy Reid gets in his bag, Spags starts calling and continues to call those great games for the defense. I don't see why they can't run the table, but I would not put my money on them. Just being honest with you, they have games a little too close for comfort, and I like a little more gap in my margin of victory. So that's why I mean, if you got somebody, if I had to pick right now I mean, honestly, yeah, we can just go into this and then transition to the last topic for the show. Super Bowl predictions. Just who you got taking the whole thing. If you want to, add a little extra, that's cool. But yeah, I would have to lean right now. I feel like it's Detroit's Super Bowl to lose. Honestly, um, throughout the entirety of the season, they to me have been like the most dominant. I mean, granted, I saw the stat where it was like margin of victory, and the Ravens was like plus 171, like they were like maybe 50 points better than Detroit. Just showing like how much they beat up on their opposition. But again, to me, the game in and game out, the Detroit Lions obviously they're dealing with a lot of injuries, but they look like the most dominant team in the league to me. So I'd have to say it's their Super Bowl to lose, personally. What you guys got? Or who you guys got?
I'm gonna say the same thing. When you talk about having the fundamentals down pat, you look at Detroit and it's like when they find a way to win, they find a way to win. They put pressure on you. You know they're going for it on fourth down. Their coach is not backing down. They don't care who you are, what team, or who you got on the opposite side of the ball. Whoever's on the field, he's going with his 11 guys, and they're going to ball out for him. And again, I go back to the consistency with their offense. Whoever has the hot hand on their offense, that's who they're giving the ball to. They're one of those teams. They're not looking to break something to fix it. Whatever's working, they're working with it until you break it. If it's Jameer Gibbs, that's who they're going with. If it's Brown, that's who they're going with. If it's Laporta, that's who they're going with. If it's Williams, that's who they're going with. And I respect that because a lot of teams in the NFL sometimes get away from what's working, and that's how they get in these close games to where we're talking about them saying, "Oh, you barely won, you barely won, you barely won." No, if you're sticking to what's working, you won't have these issues. And I think the Lions got that down packed. And again, I think it's slim, but it's definitely Detroit's Super Bowl to lose this year. Definitely.
You got Capo.
I second that or third that. I think it's Detroit Super Bowl to lose. I do see ways they could be beat though,
For sure.
and the Texans are a perfect team that showed that they gave up that game because Detroit should have another loss on their record and it should be to the Houston Texans. But I definitely think that it's theirs to lose. You know what I mean? They look to be the more consistent team, the more dominant team. Um, Everybody else, you kind of see more flaws in their game than any other team. I mean, you look at the Chiefs, they barely struggling to beat people. You look at Buffalo, they hit and miss in that passing game. Josh Allen hit and miss. You look at Lamar Jackson. Right now he's shining. He can be on fire, and then the next game you like, where's Lamar? He has a history of this every playoff.
Oh yeah, last year in the AFC Championship.
You see what I'm saying? So with Detroit right now, they're the more consistent team, and they got that two-head monster at running back, Gibbs and Montgomery, and even that left tackle, what's his name, Panay or whatever, he catching touchdown passes too. So
That's Dan Campbell. That's Dan Campbell's DNA.
I just think that I agree that they're the more consistent team. It's their Super Bowl to lose.
Yeah, man. Again, just thanks to the football gods for blessing us with these games and these teams. Because it's been a joy. It's been a treat. It's been a treat, man. I guess we'll send it out on this last random topic. I saw this game the other day, and I just had to add this into the queue of topics. There's this kid at Duke. Not heard of him. His name's Cooper Flagg. This kid's a star. This kid dropped 42 points against Notre Dame on Saturday. Most points by a freshman. I think I know it was in Duke history. I'd have to go back and double check if it was in NCAA history, but 42 points, man. He played for the U.S. select team this past Olympics, so he got to play against like LeBron and all these other guys. I personally think that the NBA, once LeBron James retires, is going to have a branding problem. LeBron just shouldering the load of being like the face of the NBA for so long. Once he retires, I think it's going to be a vacuum created, and it'll be a room for somebody to kind of step into that spot. I look around the league. You got exciting guys all over the place: John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Victor Wembanyama. But this kid Cooper Flagg got a little Larry Bird in him. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'll ask y'all this, and just tell me what y'all think. Once LeBron retires, who do you think has a real shot at being like the real face of the NBA? Because we know what that really means.
I'll go ahead and go. Honestly, it could be Kevin Durant.
Whoa.
It could be Kevin Durant, but I know they trying to pass it to Luka. They tried to give it to Luka a couple of times, but I don't think the NBA wants a Caucasian guy to be the face of the NBA.
Really? You don't see the crossover potential in that? You know how popular Larry Bird was when he was playing?
Yeah, but it's different times now.
That's true.
I think they want a black guy. And I think out of the young guys, it might be Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man is the front runner. I would say that. Box office the other day. So again, just working in my profession, I get to see a lot of these games up close. There was a game this season. He came to Houston, and we're losing in the no, we're winning in the fourth. I think maybe we're up by like 7, and Timberwolves go on a run, and right before Anthony Edwards, Timberwolves stole the possession and got Ant the ball. I just said, do not let them get the ball to this kid because he is hot. Timberwolves steal the ball, get the ball to Ant Edwards, drains the 3 to win the game. Crazy. But I mean, as far as like the face of the league, my money would be on Jason Tatum, if just because at the end of the day, it's about who's winning chips consistently, who's a fixture in the playoffs year in and year out. Who are we seeing come March and April? And a lot of these young guys, I just don't feel like they have the work ethic that it takes to really transcend being just a regular NBA player to becoming like a face of the league. You know what I mean? Like, because Kobe, you even want to tell you, like, when he got drafted, he wasn't looked at as like a future face of the league. You know what I mean? Like, he worked for everything that he was given. And LeBron, same thing, straight from high school. Greatest expectations probably ever from a prospect to come into the league and fulfill all of the obligations, projections that people put on him, and then some. You know what I mean? First player, $40,000, 40,000 points. Just just crushing expectations, man. But what do you got, Broderick? And then we'll get out of here on this.
There's a plethora of names we could call, and again, just like Capo mentioned, if it wasn't so big on, you know, you know what the face is and what it actually looks like, regardless of skin, position, height, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If we were going to pick the face, you got names you can throw out there. You can say Jokic. Like you said, you mentioned Wimbiana. And once he gets going, like when he's really there, he could be the
Giannis.
face. You got Anthony Edwards, Giannis. You got guys. Devin Booker, as you mentioned. But the guy that's standing out right now is the guy you mentioned, Jason Tatum. He's going about his business quietly as well. He's going in. He's dropping threes. He's playing defense. He's getting rebounds. He's getting assists. He's doing everything at the right time, and he's doing it for the right franchise. Franchises matter, and he's
It
doing it with
does.
the Boston Celtics.
Market definitely matters.
Yeah,
Market definitely matters.
it matters a lot, especially in the NBA, and he's doing it with one of those franchises, one of those again, like a guy we just mentioned, Larry Bird. He's doing it for the Boston Celtics. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to argue with what Jason Tatum is doing for his team and the league. He's making a lot of the sport still relevant, because we all know the three ball is a thing. Sometimes he doesn't just rely on the three ball. He
Oh
shoots it
no.
because he shoots it
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
but
He
he
got the
will go
strap.
to the cup.
He got the strap. They let him in with the strap at every game. I don't understand who's like
Right.
not risking these guys at the entrance. Like they letting these guys in with firearms. Like this man Jason Tatum got like the sickest handle at that size, let alone like with the shooting ability, man.
Exactly.
This year for him, I think they have to run it back, and he has to get that Finals MVP this year. In order for him to
Exactly.
really look
And
where
he's a well-rounded player. Like
the
that's
most, in my opinion. Like I hate the fact that he's a Celtic, being a Lakers fan, but I mean, it is what it is. But he knows. He knows deep in his heart. He wishes he was in purple and gold. He knows. He knows.
right.
You know what I
So
mean? But, maybe one day we can make that happen. But until then, we gotta watch him thrive in shit green. So, it is what it is, man. But yeah, man. I feel like it was a great one. I appreciate y'all boys, having me on, man. Definitely looking forward to many more episodes in the future. Looking forward to react to many more games and moments in the sports world with you guys. It's a lot of UFC events coming up, a lot of great boxing matches coming up. We got soccer season to get excited about. Yay, yay. My kids know we love that soccer, boy. But for real, man, it's definitely been a pleasure, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to add before we get up out of here?
No, sir. Brody's good.
Brother, what about you, Capo?
Man, y'all continue to follow this channel, man. I told y'all, man, we got new things coming. Paceo gonna be on here a lot more. Y'all continue to follow Clutch Factory. Me and Coach B gonna drop some probably in the next couple of days. So y'all go over there, go follow Boss Hog Boxing. Continue to follow us on this journey. We not stopping. We gonna keep going. This is the genesis. This is the beginning. So y'all continue to follow us on this journey. I'm Boss. That's Brody. That's Paceo. We out of here.
Salute.